I'm going to level with you. Midlife perimenopausal fat loss is no joke. It is a complex struggle that needs a more robust solution. I think this is actually important. First of all, hard pill for me to swallow. My company's called Eat Simple. And I still stand by that. I think eating can be simple. I think the complexity of eating comes from our programming. And when I say our, I'm talking to my peers, which are Gen X women. We have such a unique approach to food and taking care of ourselves because check it out. We were those latchkey kids, right? Our mom and dad, they were working. We were getting ourselves to school, getting ourselves on and off the bus, probably making ourselves some dinner, probably from a can or a box. I definitely ate a lot of Kraft mac and cheese. I definitely ate a lot of Chef Boyardee. Frozen French fries was a major staple for me. We were kind of brought up in the processed food era. And that's not our parents' fault, by the way. I do not blame my parents for that at all, because that was just the times. Right? Then we Gen Xers, okay, like let's toot our horns for a sec. We went to work. Where are the worker bees? We got our parents' boomer work ethic, just go to work and get a good job. Then the millennials came up underneath us and they were kind of more like living their truths, Somebody had to do the job. Somebody had to go to work. And so that was us. We're the ones, we go to work, right? We're the worker bees. I'm going to reframe this as an advantage that we have because, pardon my language, but we are get shit done people. We get shit done. Gen X. You want something done? We got you. So I want us to harness our get shit done energy as we approach the topic, the concept, the practice, the puzzle of midlife perimenopausal fat loss. I still believe eating can be simple, but not dumb. Simple, but not dumb. Okay. When I say simple, I mean the general principles of eating food are pretty old. We're running ancient technology here. The body that you're living in, really old DNA. The way the human body uses fuel has not changed. Man, woman, child, we're all humans. We share like 99% of our DNA is identical human DNA. The principles of eating food are simple. But midlife fat loss is a more complex problem than I think we've been willing to accept. So I'm going to ask you, my peers, to harness your Gen X work ethic and approach this differently, because what you're doing right now is not working. You're quite literally spinning your wheels here. And my hunch is you'd like to get some of this stuff solved. So if you're ready to figure this out once and for all, I got you. I've created a solution that does this. And it's helped over 2,000 women between the ages of 35 and 55 over the last 12 years figure out permanent, sustainable, easy weight loss that doesn't suck. And it's actually programmed for the solutions-oriented, problem-solving, Gen X gal pal. So I got you. So in this message today, I actually want to guide you through 3 of the many principles that I teach and guide my clients through. Because this ain't just calories and cardio. That's too dumb. Calories and cardio. I know it worked. I know it worked back when you were in your 20s and 30s. I know. Same. It's not going to work in the context of your midlife body because things have changed. But I think more problematically, you've arrived to midlife with a really messed up relationship with food and body, and your metabolism is like, what the actual F is going on? So it's kind of a coincidence that we've arrived into our mid to late 40s and it feels like it's not working. Well, it's not working because it's been mismanaged for your whole life. And it's not because you hit your 40s, it's because you mismanaged it in your 20s and 30s. So everything that you thought worked back then, it ain't going to work now. You really do have to change the game. I use this phrase, stop spinning your wheels. It's a good little double entendre because spinning your wheels is kind of like cardio, spin classes. Spin classes feel really hard. You get sweaty and out of breath. You think, I'm for sure going to get lean doing this. No, exercise is really not a big dial mover for fat loss. Food and lifestyle is. Exercise is amazing for all the things exercise is great for. I would argue that spin classes and cardio is probably, you can tap the brakes on that a little bit. Those are just sort of body burning endeavors that I don't think are serving you. A less resilient reproductive woman, you need to build up your body, not burn it away. But this idea of spinning your wheels, colloquially, jumping from thing to thing. Gosh, I hear this all the time on the phone because I'm on the phone all day long with women who are exploring, maybe contemplating working through a program with me, or they're doing a lot of exploring. They're doing a lot of research, a lot of shopping, looking for the next thing they're going to jump to. I really do want to be a voice of reason. Like, hey, don't jump to the next thing. Make a deliberate choice into a solution, a strategy that's going to solve the puzzle. We have to pluck ourselves out of this. What's the next thing? What's the thing I'm going to try next frame of mind? Because that's not how we approach a problem like this. And I'm going to try to go deeper into that with you here today. Also, so jumping from concept to concept, diet to diet, program to program, but also supplement to supplement. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if you're all seeing this in your Facebook and Instagram feeds, but I am just bombarded by supplement ads all day, every day. And by the way, I think supplements are real pointless. I mean, it's in the name. It's a supplement. If you're doing everything right and things are working and you want to like level up, then maybe there's a case to be made for some supplements. But these weight loss, gut support, perimenopause, menopause, belly supplements, this is snake oil. Oh my gosh, if you're not dialing in and being deliberate in your practices around food and lifestyle, then do not spend a cent on a supplement because you're just going to add a supplement to a diet and lifestyle that's not working. Diet and lifestyle are the foundation of this. Supplements are just to take your money. I feel really strongly about that. I just don't think you need it. Anyhow, small supplements rant. Most importantly, I think you're wasting your precious time. Okay, I am 48 years old. Maybe you're in around my age. I don't got time to be wasting my mental energy, my waking moments, stressing and jumping to a thing that didn't work. Now I'm going to do the second thing that didn't work. I'm going to do the 75th thing that didn't work. Oh my gosh, this time is flying by. Actually, I have an anecdote. A client of mine yesterday on our coaching call, she came on and she said, hey, I wanted to let you know, I went shopping this weekend and I was trying on jeans. She bought a size smaller. She went and grabbed the 12s. Just for giggles, she grabbed the 10s. The 10s fit. She bought the 10s. She lost a pant size. Now, she's working in my 6-month mentorship, and it took about 4 months to get down from a 12 to a 10. That's not fast. But you know what? She was pleasantly surprised because it didn't feel hard. Listen, I know the number one objection I'm going to get, which is that's not fast enough. So my question is, okay, what are you going to do instead? So I asked her, parallel universe, what would you have done instead? She's like, I probably would have just kept doing stupid crash diets. And she's like, I probably would have been a pant size bigger or the same. Best case scenario, I'd be the same. Worst case scenario, I'd be a pant size bigger or more. The 4 months was going to pass anyway. She passed 4 months learning, leaning in, being curious, practicing patience, all the stuff I'm going to talk about here. Think ahead 6 months. Think ahead half a year from now, 2 seasons from now. Whatever season it is that you're listening to this in, jump ahead 2 seasons. Imagine 2 seasons from now, you're pulling out your whatever wardrobe, your spring wardrobe, your summer wardrobe, your whatever it is, and everything's a little too big. Wouldn't you be pleasantly delighted by that? You'd say, oh, wow, that 6 months flew by and I have to go buy a whole new winter wardrobe. My jacket doesn't fit anymore. My pants don't fit. I need new belts, new bras. The time is going to pass. So I think sometimes we're wasting precious time trying to find the quick fix. So we're trying to find the quick fix, but we're wasting years of life doing that. If we'd just settled into the deliberate fix, we'd have it fixed by now. And just to kind of close the loop on my client's jeans story, some of my clients that were in that call were retelling my Christmas dress story, which is that one time I went shopping for my favorite Christmas dress. I buy the same dress every year. This silk shirt dress from Aritzia. And one year I went to go buy it. I got into the size 8. I'm a giant, tall, 5'11" muscular woman, and I've never been a size 8 in my adult life. And I'm shopping for dresses, and the 10 looked frumpy. I got the 8. I was like, oh, I wear a size 8 now. That's wild. And that's exactly the response I had in the change room. That's the response this client had. She was just sort of like, oh, that's interesting. It wasn't like, yes, I did it. It was just this kind of very casual, oh, this is amazing. It worked. When I got into the size 8 dress, I hadn't done anything. I literally had done nothing. I'm just eating and moving and living the way I always eat, move, and live. And my body was just doing the fat burning thing sort of behind the scenes, very imperceptibly. By the way, parenthetically, imperceptible fat loss is what you want. When my client slid into the size 10s and was just pleasantly surprised, she had no idea. She wasn't suffering for 4 months. She was having a really nice time eating food and taking care of herself and learning about her body for 4 months. And wouldn't you know, as a cool side effect, she got into the size 10s. Imagine if that was your relationship with fat loss and the shape and size of your body. If it was just a beautiful curiosity, an intrigue, an interest. Here are 3 things to contemplate when approaching the puzzle of midlife weight loss. 3 of many things. I had a hard time whittling this down to 3 things. Number 1 is a mindset. Lean into learning. Take this on as a project, like a bathroom remodel, not like an everyday annoyance, like laundry. When you're remodeling a bathroom, redecorating a bedroom, whatever it is, you've got a vision in mind of what you want it to look like when it's done. You're thinking about the finished project, what the bedroom or the bathroom or the kitchen is going to look like when you're done your redecorating project. You're meticulously figuring out all of the little components that are going to shore up to that finished product, right? What you want it to look like and feel like when it's done. What is my end result going to be? And then I have to back into it with all the little steps and materials and products and professional help I might need, whatever the case may be. You're a Gen Xer. You know how to project manage, baby. Come on. Now, laundry, or for me, floors are just a nuisance, a stupid thing I have to just do. I hope I have an ally out there who thinks the floors are the worst part of like day-to-day housework. It's just a thing you got to get done. It doesn't take very much time. It's like, okay, there, it's done. And you just kind of hate every part of the process. And nothing about it is joyful or curious. It's just a thing you kind of get done. That's how we're treating our bodies. It's just a thing we got to get done. We're putting it in the same category as floors and laundry. That's just rude. This is a project to manage. So delete your frustrated nuisance state of mind. That frustrated nuisance, annoyed mindset, like I'm so annoyed that my body isn't the way it's supposed to look. Like, what's going on here? What magical dial can I turn to make this behave the way I want? Like Swiffering your body. I'm going to Swiffer the floor because instead of pulling the mop out, I'm just going to get this Swiffer and that's fine. We're going to Swiffer this, okay? We've got to project manage it. So tap into that project management lobe of your worker bee Gen X brain because we're get shit done people. So use these natural traits of curiosity, being solutions oriented, having a willingness to learn, and then sprinkle a hefty dose of patience on top of that. I really think that the bedroom, bathroom, kitchen remodel analogy is very apt because if you're like me, you would go into that weekend project, let's call it. It's a little redecoration project over a weekend or maybe a week or 2 weeks. Throw a couple $1,000 at it just to spruce up that room. The way you would deliberately chip away at the necessary components of that project in a specific order to get the outcome you want is exactly how you have to approach midlife fat loss. This is the only mindset that works for midlife fat loss. The crashy approach doesn't work, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So I'm encouraging you to be willing to learn about your body and step into project management instead of bullying or hating or micromanaging or just being annoyed by the process of having to deal with this thing. All right, number 2, hacks don't work for a complex problem. So crash diets, crazy supplements, quick fixes, they won't work for you. I know they seem like they used to work. This is something that I feel so powerfully about. When you say to me, what used to work doesn't work anymore. When I was in my 30s, if I wanted to just tighten up before my beach vacation, I'd just stop evening snacking, or I would just have a skinny latte instead of, skinny lattes instead of regular lattes. You would pull some lever and it would work. You were more resilient then. This, I think, is such a clutch concept to consider. A post-reproductive woman, which is us, if we're in our midlife, perimenopause transition, Gen X, post-reproductive, you're coming out of your reproductive years, a post-reproductive woman is less resilient. We have lower resiliency to stress, pressure, goofy diets, you name it, okay? This makes absolute sense to me. This is the most logical thing because there is nothing more resilient on the planet than a female in the reproductive era. She has to keep herself alive, the baby alive, the species, no big deal. Like, reproductive women have amplified resilience. Post-reproductive women, it dials down. We don't need to be as tough. So we are less resilient, less responsive to little sensitive again, adjustments of dials. So quite literally, what used to work won't work anymore. And you know what? You need to just take better care of yourself. You can't just get on the elliptical for an hour and 45 minutes every day because you're heading to Jamaica in 2 weeks. I knew a girl who did that. This is recent, front of mine. There's recency here. She was on the elliptical every day for 2 hours because she was going on her beach vacation. So she was going to kill herself on the elliptical machine, which is the most boring thing at the gym, for 2 hours a day, maybe even more than that, so she could lose weight for her vacation. What a miserable way to go into a vacation, but also what a miserable way to not take care of your body. That's just abuse. You need to take better care of yourself in midlife. Because I would push back and say the things that you used to do that worked were just crash diet behaviors, and that's cruel, unnecessary. Don't do it. It's not going to work anymore, so stop it. Stop it! And by the way, you're smart. You're intelligent. You're wise enough to know that meaningful change doesn't happen quickly. You can't just turn one magical dial and have everything you've always wanted. I get it. I buy lottery tickets too. I would love to just go to the gas station, pay $20 for a lottery ticket and, have 70 million bucks chilling in my bank account the next day. That would be amazing. Guess how many times in my life I've bought lottery tickets, and guess how many of those were winners? The answers are a lot and zero. I also want to acknowledge that, I'm not above you here. I understand why we do want the magic wand. But it doesn't track for you. You've worked your butt off. You've been working your butt off your whole life. So ever since you were taking care of yourself when your mom and dad were at work and you had to cook yourself dinner and probably cook dinner for your sisters and brothers. You've worked your butt off for your relationship, your family, your kids, your career, your home, your lifestyle. You've been working your butt off. You know how to do this. You know that anything worth having takes doing. And this is no different. Just reframe this as a more complex problem that needs a more deliberate solution, and then you'll have more success. So midlife fat loss is a more complex problem that needs a little more elbow grease. But I go back to what I said earlier, which is we can simplify the process. So it's complex, but we can make simple steps so that you can just execute these simple steps to support the complex system of your body, so that you, like myself and my client, can just accidentally be a dress size smaller. That'd be the most amazing thing, wouldn't it? But that's not going to happen if you jump to the next crash diet and jump to the next quick fix. It's just not going to happen. Your time is going to fly by and no change will have been made. No permanent change will have been made. You know that already. All right, number 3, third and final. Robust nutrition is the solution. I feel this in my bones. I swear, if one more woman gets on the phone with me and tells me that she's trying intermittent fasting lately and she doesn't eat till lunchtime and then it's a salad with some chicken, I will scream if I hear that one more time. I will scream. It is literally at this point so predictable, because when I am on a consultation with a client, we need to get clear on a few things. First of all, what's the problem here? What's your problem? And would you like to solve it? And what have you tried to solve it? What do we know does and does not work? Now, let's get a sense of where you're at with food, because food is the biggest dial mover for midlife weight loss. So I ask clients to take me through a typical day of eating. I don't need to know quantities. I do like to know time of day and what you're eating and generally where you're eating and who else is there. What are you guys doing? It's like clockwork. I can almost recite it in unison with the people on the phone. Well, I've been trying intermittent fasting lately, so I'm not eating until about midday, and then I'll have a salad with some chicken on it. Occasionally, there's a collagen coffee thrown in there. This is not food. This is not the food your body is wanting, needing. It's not going to respond well to that bullshit. First of all, if you've just come off of decades of food hypervigilance through your teens, your 20s, your 30s, which most midlife women have, and I know some women don't think they have, but you have. I mean, I'm telling you. Then the last thing you need to be doing is fasting, because you don't even know how to eat. Before you fast, you need to know how to eat. This is what I'm talking about. Robust nutrition is your solution. This is a metabolic truth I need you to know. Metabolism is a system of the body that responds to signal more than math. So when is the food coming in? What is it? How much is there? What's the sort of nutrient density of it? That sort of general commentary on the food environment is what metabolism is kind of picking up based on what you're feeding. We get a little mired into the weeds of math, like calories, macros, portion sizes, whatever it is. Metabolism does not respond to math. It responds to signal. So if the signal is, well, for 2.5 decades, you've just been eating salads, and now you're coupling eating salads with intermittent fasting, the body's like, it is tough times out there. What is going on? You're going to have a really hard time moving fat out of storage as long as your body thinks you're constantly in some kind of bizarre famine. You already know, like, the calorie bros kind of socialize this point of view as well, but it's like, okay, I'm so good during the week or I'm so good during the day, and then at night the wheels fall off, or I'm good during the week and on the weekends the wheels fall off. Think about the chaos of that. That is a chaotic food signal. What if every day you just robustly fed your body? Every day, Monday through Sunday, there was robust nutrition on board, and your body was like, here we go. Finally, we've got some safety in this environment. Then the body is more inclined to say, you know, this precious fat we've got in storage, we can let some of it go. Only, I feel this so strenuously that I will not have my mind changed. For you, midlife, perimenopausal woman, only robust, nourishing meals of supportive food will nudge you out of the metabolic stuckness that you're stuck in. You're stuck, and eating less isn't going to get you unstuck. Eating in a smaller feeding window, shoving your salads into a compressed feeding window isn't going to do it. More robust meals of supportive food. And there's actually an adjacent concept I just want to riff on here, which is we think about signal. It's sort of like, what is the persistent signal metabolism is picking up? Is it persistently robust and nourishing, or is it like scattered? Like sometimes we're starving, sometimes we're feasting. It's crazy. In that same vein, women will get on the phone on these calls and I'll say, well, what do you think the problem is? And they'll say, well, sometimes I have like an extra square of dark chocolate, or sometimes, I like to have a glass of wine on Fridays, or sometimes we have ice cream. It's like, listen, these one-off food choices are not the problem. It's what you're doing most of the time. And if what you're doing most of the time is restricting and micromanaging and dieting and fasting and then eating salads and then going and doing too much cardio, if that's what you're doing most of the time, that's where we need to make a change. The things you're doing most of the time are the problem. The things you do occasionally don't matter. That's not a big deal. I don't care. I don't care about the ice cream or the glass of wine. That's not the thing. So we have to look at what are you doing most of the time. That's why I ask for the typical day of eating. Take me through what eating is like for you. I don't really care about your snackies and your treats. That doesn't matter. Treats are going to happen. But what's happening in the day-to-day of your food choices? That's where the magic is. That's where the solution lives. Something has to change there. And eating more robust meals is going to be the thing that changes the game. And I hang my hat on that all day. I'm tired of women eating these tiny bird-like meals in an effort to shrink away to some tiny little dust. Ugh, I'm so sick of that conceptually. And it's not working, more importantly. I care that it's a real bad scene for women writ large. Gen X women, these robust, powerhouse, strong, badass women, eating these dumb salads and low-fat yogurts and collagen coffees. You need food, man. It's time to freaking eat. I'm not okay with it anymore. And it's not working. So from your perspective, it's not even working. So why are you doing it? All right. So I'm all about taking this intelligent, solutions-oriented approach to get this figured out. Midlife fat loss must be figured out, project managed, like a bathroom remodel. It's not just something that has a quick Band-Aid ripping off and we're good. It needs to be figured out. You got to lean into the time, the energy, the patience it takes to figure things out. But you've done this your whole life in other categories. You know how to do this. This is how your brain works in real life. Apply that to fat loss. Be more deliberate. Be solutions oriented. Be a project manager. This is a complex system, and it requires you to just lean in with a little elbow grease and patience and a beginner's mind and a willingness to learn. That's what's going to move the dial for you. And that's what's going to work for you for midlife fat loss.